This is Infection, the survival podcast recorded live on Tuesday, September 25th, 2018, episode 193. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Infection, the survival podcast. Infection is your source for the latest information on survival video games. We bring you the latest news, reviews, updates, and more each and every week. My name is Nick Craig. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. Check out our website, infectionpodcast.com. It's a Tuesday, Brian. How crazy. After 190 weeks of doing the show, on almost every Tuesday, we had a solo Saturday show for episode 191 that you did. Yep. And then a show 3 days ago that we did after we're just surviving. If everybody picked up on the title last week's episode, just surviving the hurricane here in Wilmington, North Carolina. We're back, baby, back and better than ever. I woke up
back
like
on
15
track.
minutes ago. Everything's great.
Hurricanes wear you out.
It's just, man, it's just everything. It's still a little weird. Like I've pretty much like not. This is gonna sound stupid. Like I'm gonna say I reinvented myself, but I was so off schedule that I've been able to redo.
Coordinate.
It's like it was like pressing like reset on my routine because for 6 days. I mean, I've got the box of supplies that I was living out of. It's full of soups and crackers, and that, I mean...
That's pretty much what I live off of.
I mean, let me go grab
a box
it
of crackers sitting here. I had 2 soups today to eat, so that's the way it goes.
Hold on a second here. For our audio listeners, this is not going to be very exciting. I've got my box. Oh, geez. Got my box.
Oh, I have mangoes, Judd. Don't worry, I have mangoes. They're in the kitchen.
I've got my box of supplies and what's left of them. Let's take a quick look. A couple cans of tomato soup. Some SpaghettiOs. I had some soups. Some coffee. Ponchos. Pop-Tarts. 9-volt batteries and flashlights.
You could have lasted a couple more days.
Some paracord. Some Belvita. I mean, I'm ready to rock and roll. I mean, I could just throw this in the car right now. I've got my bug-out bag. We're back, nevertheless. Welcome to the show. Brian is my co-host. He's here as well. Bailed me out 2 weeks ago and last week. Brian, where can people find you on the interwebs?
Yep. If you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, of course, my blog, biteoftech.com, and then our website. Make sure if you... First of all, our Twitter, if you want notifications of when our show's getting ready to start, we had a late show. I did an audio only one, and that was something we notified on Twitter for. So usually our news that we have going out is on Twitter. Also, we have our Discord where if you want to give us news, let's say perhaps there's a story that you want us to cover, you can click join our Discord server on the website on the right-hand side. A nice green button, and that will get you into our Discord. It's a free app, really easy to use. It's a text-based app, and it has voice chat rooms. So you can go on there, and we'll give notifications of when the show's starting in there as well. But if you want to just chat with people, make sure when you join, though, you introduce yourself. Tell people you listen to the show. Nick will probably ask you how you found us. And
why are you in here?
Yeah. Yeah, what are you doing in here? Then, our Steam group, if you want notifications, we get a little pop-up that comes up before we start our live show. And then our YouTube and podcast forums all listed on there. Nice and easy to use.
Yes. I want to thank a couple people. I want to thank our friend Judd for the subscription here right before the show. And our buddy War Chicken for throwing us some bits during the program. We appreciate that. And Firebomb wants to give a shout-out to PH, who...
BFFs.
Yeah, they're best friends in the Discord. So... a big shout out to PH from our friend Firebomb. All right. Well, I'm trying to think. It's been, as I was telling you the pre-show, it's been like we did a show 3 days ago. So 3 days ago. Yeah. I'm trying to think what has happened. I haven't played it. I installed Ring of Elysium. But yep. I just haven't had a chance to play it. I did watch somebody play it. I watched our friend Manpawns play it.
What'd you think of it?
It seemed it. Can I say that it wasn't that fun to watch? It seemed like it would be one of those games that looks like it'd be better to play than watch.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, so it is. It's definitely more fun to play. It's not like, for instance, let's take a look at Fortnite. Fortnite has a lot of those quick movements. Like you can make it look like stuff's happening all the time.
Yeah,
so I think it's easier to stream.
Fortnite is very fun to watch. It's very active. It's like you're just constantly like
ways to like fly so someone who's really talented, like they can fly across half the map and they can do things to make it to where the game goes fast.
Well, I'll give you a great example. Ninja, for example, spends a lot of his time in the ring, the blue cone. He constantly is late getting into the zone, not because he doesn't know how to play the game, but because on that first wave, he can dick around in the blue zone for, a couple minutes. And it's exciting because he's in the zone and he's dropping health. He's like, "Oh my god, what am I gonna do? Oh, run out of health!" Like, it's so much more active. And I feel like this game is the same thing with PUBG. Like, I don't think PUBG is exciting to watch. It's too slow. Not that the Ring of Elysium is slow, but it's just I haven't played.
So
it yet,
so here's something that's different about it that doesn't make for great streaming. They don't have you fly in, so people don't land in the same spot. So last week I had mentioned that it's much more of it's much less of an RNG game, much more of a consistent game that you could play to maybe, I guess, be more competitive. Okay. Because you can pick before the game starts, how many people are be around you, so you have time to get some gear, and then start working your way into the zones of what's chosen. And then you can consistently move forward. Like last time I played it, I got third place, and I didn't realize that was the first time I've really made it through to the end. And I didn't realize it's because there's 4 spots on that plane. So I figured, hey, there's 4 people left. I was like, all right, let's all run in. I mean, I figured 4 of us left. Let's get on the helicopter and let's leave. And one guy shot me as I went up to the helicopter. I was like, all 4 of us get a win. I don't know, but it's much more of a consistent game. I still don't understand the very end. Like, they should make it to where there's 1 helicopter seat. I don't know why they have 4 for, the game where there's 1 person teams. Cause I don't know, but I think it's a much more consistent, evenly paced game. The loot distribution is really good. They have a lot of vehicles across the map, a lot of ways to travel. I told people about the snowboard last week. They have hang gliders if you want to go up on a mountain and kind of fly across a large section of map. Yeah, so it was probably Judd saying that I sniped people so they couldn't get on. It was probably you that I was playing against who killed me right before the last minute.
That'd be pretty good.
Okay, we're all going to win. Let's just run in. Right. No, that's not how it worked. I learned my lesson. Now I know. There are no friends.
Good. Oh, good. I love the Switch.
I listen to the story.
I love. Brian used to be like in H1Z1, like, oh, everybody's friendly. Oh, there's no reason to just kill this random hero or random character until like our whole group got ambushed multiple times because good guy Brian here wouldn't be like, oh, there's an enemy over there. So you learned your lesson. You've been too disconnected from the original H1Z1. You forgot.
I know. I for a minute there, I was trying to be nice. I was like, hey, all 4 of us win. Yay. It's an online game. All 4 win. Yay. Let's all win. Because I listened to the story beforehand and it talked. We played that video last week, right?
Yeah.
It's like everybody, we only have 4 spots and everybody's trying to survive. So, it's going to be down to those 4 making it out. And I was like, yeah, us 4, right? We don't hate each other. Just we want to get up on that plane. There's only 4 people left. No, that's not how it works. So they need to put 1 slot.
I'm glad that happened to you so early because this could have been like a real.
The first time I got to the end of the game and I learned my lesson.
Yep. Hey, what can I
will
say?
not be nice in that game again.
Good. I'm glad. I want to give a quick shout out, Brian, not to derail us because we're going to get into a topic. Our friend Green Man Cartoons is now officially verified on YouTube, and if you've not checked out his content, you're missing out on some quality stuff. But he's as he says, he's a real YouTube channel at last. So go check out our buddy Green Man Cartoons and all of his shenanigans. Harass him for a new Fortnite video. He loves making Fortnite videos. So tell him to get on it.
I'll have to make a Discord channel for people that are verified on YouTube.
It'd be in our Discord. I believe he'd be the only one.
No, I am too.
Go to hell, Brian. You're verified on YouTube?
Yeah.
How many subscribers do you have?
I don't know. I only have 3 or 4 videos. One's a video of my fish. So whenever people like see my account in a comment or something, they go look at my channel because they see I'm verified, and they're like, it's like a picture of my fish swimming around. It's just
a way to just really mitigate the fact that Green Man Cartoons is finally.
Sorry, I know. I'm just saying he and I could have a. It's a lot of hard work to get verified. I mean,
you are verified. You have 13 subscribers. What the hell?
Yeah, it's hard work. I mean, he got 9 million views per video, and I got 13 subscribers.
Boy, is this an interesting.
No, Green Man, congratulations.
Man, is this an interesting little.
I did make apps for YouTube Live, though. I mean, you got to remember this.
Yeah, Brian at a point.
Creators of what they based the Hangouts app upon. So, I mean, it's for different reasons.
You were associated with Google at one point in time. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it makes a little more sense.
Congratulations, man. I'm proud of you.
I mean, I didn't realize bringing that up was going to turn into just I have 13 subscribers and I'm verified. I'm so sorry, Green Man. Never again will I bring up your comment. Start doing solo shows and I want to give you some props. Oh, Brian got disconnected. Hey, let me talk to you about my friend Green Man Cartoons.
Sorry,
congratulations,
I
Green
just thought
Man.
it'd be funny and I could have our own channel.
I'm sure he appreciates that. All right, let's steer this ship. Let's steer the ship back in back in the line here, Brian. Let's open with this.
Okay.
Upcoming games.
Yes.
Actually, before we open with that, we're going to do our game of the week. We're going to get that back on track now too. So we do that every Friday. Maybe you're looking for something to do on your Friday night. We do what we call our Infection Game of the Week, our GOTW, and we're going to give Ring of Asylum a try. And that's what we're going to do. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, in our Discord. The game is free. Download it, and there's squads in there. You can play with up to 4 people, so we'll have a couple groups, I'm sure.
Yeah, squads. So we'll just do a couple groups of squads.
Yep, and we'll do that. We'll do that Friday night for our game of the week. All right. We've done this a couple times in the recent past. We've talked about upcoming games because there's a lot of stuff coming up here over the next couple of weeks and into the next couple of months. So looking at our first of new releases that we've kind of been tracking, games that are kind of in our wheelhouse, are the new Call of Duty, which of course has got the BR mode, which we'll get into a little bit later on today. I actually had I forgot that I played it. That's how crazy my past couple of weeks have been. I played it at my hideout location for the hurricane, and I'd forgotten I'd played it because everything was just. I got a PlayStation code and installed it, but wasn't here to use the PlayStation. But luckily, somebody where I was had it installed Blackout, so that's coming out October 12th. So that'll be out here in just a couple of weeks, which is a Friday, which is what they're doing. A little bit later on in the month of October, of course, we've got the new Red Dead Redemption, which I mean is like a single player survival. I mean it's got a similar. I mean it's not zombies.
I would say it counts as. I mean, because we have our kind of shifting view of survival.
We're trying to retitle the term. Yeah, we're trying to redefine.
Yeah, I've been watching videos on this because they've been pretty tight-lipped. I mean, this is a game or a company that they try to keep everything sealed as tight as possible.
Yeah, when they can.
The day time of release, and they'll release on their own terms.
Yep.
Right. So Rockstar has been releasing some information. We actually have some things we'll show here a little bit later of what you can expect in there. But this is going to be, according to them, this is their largest open world yet. So this is going to be bigger than GTA's map. So this should be a really large. I mean, if you think, I don't know, GTA versus the original Red Dead Redemption map, it felt like GTA was bigger. And so I'm not sure how the comparison side for this is, but this is going to be their biggest open world map they have yet. And it's got a lot of different biomes in it because they kind of took the whole United States and took different, or I guess known United States at that time or populated United States. And they took those different environments and kind of shrunk them into one map. So you'll have the South, you'll have kind of towards Texas where the original one was, up north. It's all will be in there. So it looks like an amazing game. That's the one I'm probably most excited for at the moment.
And we've lost this in our kind of genre of games. We've lost the polish of a title being released. We've covered this time and time again, and there's just, and I don't, not that the games that we play are crap. I'm not excuse me, saying that in any way or shape.
They're not AAA. I mean, they're generally not AAA studio titles.
But these games release with the intention of, we are going to build on the game. We are going to have the community kind of decide. Look at what's going on with Z1 now. They're basing a lot of what they're doing on what the community wants. The play preseason number 3. They're doing a lot of that based on the community. Red Dead Redemption and the new Call of Duty, for the most part, are going to release, and you're going to play the product. There's not going to be Red Dead's not going to, Rockstar's not going to be wishy-washy on what the game is. I mean, the game is done. The new Call of Duty is done.
They're not going to change direction 5 times.
No, I mean, that's the thing. And there's something that's nice about that. You're going to get Red Dead Redemption. You're gonna pop it in your system or whatever, and you're just gonna play it. And it's, for the most part, it's gonna work. There'll be some bugs. They'll patch them, and that'll be it. And that's appealing to me, in just because we just deal with a lot of unfinished products. Not saying that is a bad thing, but we are in this.
It's nice to have a polished.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to play. For example, Rem Royale, I think, was a great example of a game that came out that was very polished, and we even gave them credit for it. You interviewed them at PAX and mentioned your game was different. It was polished.
The graphics were clean. The animations were good.
Now they've done tweaking now after the fact, but on release, that game was pretty damn good. And so we've got Red Dead Redemption on the.
Well, now with the Call of Duty Black Ops 4, with their BR mode, watching the gameplay on that, and you said you played it, it felt very much like a more polished PUBG.
It did, and I'm getting it on PC, by the way. I played it on PC, felt pretty good. I'm going to get it on PC.
So that's, for me, I think that, do you think that it's going to have that much competition? Do you think it's going to pull enough of the people that have played PUBG and are like, I'm kind of over this?
Not on launch, because it's $60.
Yeah. So
no, not on launch. I don't think so.
But I think it'll pull. I think it'll pull in the console market what maybe PUBG won't be able to do.
In the console market,
I think that the game. Yes. I think that they'll probably have a hard time really pulling a huge number of console players, because they'll be like, oh, I've got Call of Duty, which feels a lot the same, but it just feels a little bit better. Unless they make some. I mean, they've got these fixes that they're doing with PUBG recently.
Well,
maybe they can, but I don't think that they can get it to the point of where it's going to compete as much with Call of Duty.
Well, and here's the other thing too. It's got other modes. It's not just a BR game. It's got their Blackout, their BR mode, but then it's also got a full-fledged multiplayer, which is what they're known for, and what Activision sells millions of copies of the game for is their multiplayer. Like it or hate it, that's why people buy these games. And I'm excited to play COD on the PC, because I've never played one from the start on the PC. I own them on the PC, but I've gotten them after the fact. So that'll be interesting.
If you're going to play that on PC, then I'll probably get it on PC as well. Because, I mean, for me, Call of Duty doesn't matter as much on console. because I'm probably better on PC than I am.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was hesitant. I was hesitant to play it. I think a couple weeks ago we talked about getting it on the PlayStation, and I played the Blackout demo on a PC, and it felt really good. Which is something that they had a problem with. Plus, it's just, I mean, Brian, we've come back to this multiple times. Behind me, I've got a whole array of game systems available to me. Why don't I play them all? Because they're a pain in the ass. I got to play around with HDMI sources and whatnot to figure out what system I'm using. Every time I turn on the Xbox or PlayStation, I got to do a freaking update for the system itself. I wanted to play Halo with Musty a couple weeks ago. I had to do a 78 gigabyte update for Halo Master Chief Collection. I didn't even bother. Yeah. So with the PC, those things are just, the PC's always on. Blizzard's battle.net is always open. It's always going to be up to date. When I want to play it, I'm going to open it up, I'm going to click play, it's going to launch. I don't have to play around with this stuff. So it's just easier to play.
So I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2 on the console, but I think maybe that style of game, I mean, for me, that game is very casual. I don't think of it as an online, like, play with your friends. One thing I found very difficult with Destiny is finding people to play with, because the clan system is kind of weird. They don't have a easy to use voice chat system. Like, I've never heard anyone talk in voice in that game. And so for me, like, that kind of a game, maybe it makes sense on there, but I see where they're taking shortcuts, and I'm getting less of an experience in some ways because it's on a PS4. Where if I were on PC, I could find a group of people that play on there, jump on Discord, and, they're in a channel, I'll jump in and play. It just doesn't work as well on PS4. Like, I joined some community where they post when they're doing raids, and I can jump in on a raid, but it's not like a real community. There's just random people. There's 1,000 people in it, and they just, once in a while you see some random name post that they're doing a raid. And so I definitely see an issue with the online play, because I've not tried to do something in a community on a PS4 before. And that's one where I kind of wish that it was easier to have a community on there. And I see it lacking in that.
It's just, it's just easier. I mean, it's just the whole thing, the whole process is a lot easier on PC. So I think I'm going to be getting, I'm going to be getting Black Ops 4 on the PC here on battle.net, which for people maybe don't know, Blizzard acquired Activision a year and a half, 2 years ago, and this is the first COD game that they're releasing on their own launcher, and I don't think it's on Steam. At least at launch it will not be. You'll have to buy it on battle.net, which fortunately I've played enough Overwatch with people that I've got a lot of I've got a decent friends list. Yeah. So and again, how hard is it to add someone? I know it's a pain, it's annoying, but yeah, once you add them, you're done.
So X Bravo says, is it worth getting the higher tier for Black Ops 4?
I mean, it depends. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, okay, we bought the.
So actually, this perfectly goes into something I was going to bring up.
All right,
because I was wanting to have this discussion with you,
and we'll come back to the rest of the upcoming games. We'll get to that.
Well, yeah, we can because this is all kind of I think around this general topic. So I've been looking at for Red Dead Redemption 2. They have these 3 different tiers, and so I've been looking at, okay, well, which tier should I get? Because they've now had it to where you can get with the special. So they have the standard edition.
Yep.
Which the special edition and the ultimate edition. And what they're doing is if you do the standard edition, you are missing out on some features of the game. They're putting them as bonus, but I want to tell you, I'm going to list off some of these things to you. And I want you to tell me why these would be unavailable to a person who pays $60. So they have bank robbery mission and gang hideout. So these are 2 missions that are unavailable in the base version of the game. That if you buy the special edition or the ultimate edition, you can get those 2 missions that aren't in the regular game. Then you can get, for the special edition, you get a special type of horse, outfit. You get talisman and medallion gameplay bonuses, which is all current in-game currency. I understand that. Gameplay boosts, cash bonuses, and discounts, and then 3 weapons at the gunsmith.
How much is that?
Then
is it $100?
So the special edition is, let's see, I'm pulling up for now. It is $79.99.
So it's $10 more than base. Oh, excuse me, $20 more than base.
$20 more than base. And then for $99.99, so $20 more than that, or $40 more than base, you also will get on top of that some bonus outfits and a survivor camp theme, which I'm thinking is not a theme, a PS4 theme, which you usually hear about. This is actually a different look for your camp in the game. You get rank bonuses, which I understand about that. Rank bonuses. That can mean 2 different things to me. Do you rank up faster, or do they just give you extra ranks? Probably, or is it a special title?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I just 100% understand that. And then another horse, so a black chestnut thoroughbred, and then free access to additional weapons. So that's that extra $20 tier. For me, I look at it like I don't care so much about the theme, but I'm looking at the special edition because personally, I don't like the idea that I'm not getting certain quests. Right. And so it's just kind of, just annoyed me. Like I'm looking at that. I'm trying to decide. Plus then they have, if you pre-order it, like gives you GTA $5 or something, whatever.
Shark points.
Yeah. But is that going to be usable inside of the online?
Yeah, probably.
I'm assuming that they're going to rename it from Shark Cash or whatever it is to something else, but they're going to be the same thing.
Possibly. So, shark cards, yeah.
So what do you think of that whole system of them actually they're not treating it as a DLC, so there's no way for you to upgrade to this at this point. It's not like, okay, upgrade to the special edition. What do you think of them having actual quests in the game that are inaccessible to the base tier?
I don't know. And I know that's going to sound like a stupid answer, but I think it depends on what they are. I mean, clearly they're not going to be necessary to complete the story. That wouldn't make any sense.
No, they aren't part of the main storyline. But, what are you going to get from those? There's no information. I know they don't want to give you too much information. But
and that's kind of why I can't give you an answer. It's like, it depends. Is this just like a little side mission thing that they're doing? That it is going to take 10 minutes and you're going to be done? Or is this another $20 worth of gameplay? My guess would be it's probably not $20 worth of gameplay. My guess. I could be wrong. Nobody knows. Now here's the thing too. This is something that may become DLC after the fact. No?
But they don't say anything about it.
But this is pretty common.
Let me read to you what they say about this one exactly. So get exclusive access to a bank robbery mission in which Arthur and a couple of his fellow gang members come up with a daring plan to break in and rob the bank in the southern town Rhodes of Rhodes. Elsewhere, the Lobos, I think, gang has taken over a hacienda. Clear this gang's hideout and rob their stash for a lucrative take. So, it just looks like they just got some bonus, probably cash. Or, I assume it just would be a cash or probably a repeatable.
See, what you just described,
are in story mode.
Yeah, but see, what you just described does not sound like an in-depth story. It sounds like it sounds like a heist. You're going to be robbing a bank. Doesn't sound like there's a lot of story plot. It sounds like you're going to walk towards the bank, and then you're going to start the robbing process. You're going to have to shoot some people, then you're going to get away on a horse, the people will chase you, you'll get away, mission successful. That doesn't sound
why didn't they keep that in the base of the game? Why did they put that as an extra bonus thing? Usually Brian, do pre-orders, it's skins, it's things in the game that are
here's the thing.
Actual quests.
I'm gonna probably not leak some information right now, but Brian, you and I have looked at doing a Patreon or some type of subscriber tier for the show in the past, and the reason we've never done it is we've always struggled on value. What can we give people for X amount of dollars a month? And we've never been able to come with anything good. We released the video on YouTube. We released the audio on podcast apps. We put full show notes, and we've got timestamps all publicly available for every episode. We've always been unable to, in my opinion, provide something worth paying for, so we've never done it. And I feel like Rockstar's in this same boat where they're trying to figure out how the hell do we get another $20 out of people? And this is the answer. You come up with a couple bullshit missions that you throw together and you sell them at an upcharge with some other stuff. It's that they are creating value by just adding some of these other kind of heists. And it's something you and I've we've looked at doing some type of Patreon or subscription thing probably half a dozen times, seriously, and we've never been able to come up with like, oh, this is what we'll do, and this is how they're doing it. They're just coming up with a couple missions. You rob a bank, okay, but you're gonna do that one. Like, how many times are you gonna do that?
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you get to keep the cash. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a quick way that you can get cash if you're in a tight spot game.
It could be a repeatable mission that if you're looking to grind cash.
It sounds repeatable. I mean, it may not be, but it sounds like it could be a repeatable. It sounds like it could be an instance thing.
I just wonder, like, there's got to be a reason that they picked those two missions. They're like, oh, these are going to be in the $20 more expensive tier. And it just frustrates me because there's so little information on it. I don't want to be kicking myself for like, oh, I should have gotten the top tier. I
mean, here's the thing. I can't answer this question because you and I are very different. You would kick yourself over not having something like that. I know how you are with these games. For me, it just seems like I don't want to call them out, but it just kind of seems like BS that they're selling. Like, we like in a board meeting when we were planning out Red Dead Redemption 2, we decided we were gonna have price tiers at 60, 80, 100, whatever, and then they probably backfilled stuff into it, which would be the right way to do it. And they realized, well, a skin and a horse and whatever is not worth $20.
Because that's the thing is, usually when you see these, it was the same thing with with a lot of these games we've had that are similar to this. You get that weapon, and it's like, okay, that's great for level 15 or whatever beginning of the game, but then you never touch it again. And so I usually find those free weapons that they give you, they don't rank up. It's not like it's giving you something that is worth something way in the end. So I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on the special edition just so that I get, I don't know. I'm leaning at the special edition. Now the special edition that would give me those quests.
And that's this $80 edition.
Yeah, $79.99.
And you're going to be getting this on the PlayStation, I presume?
Yeah, the PS4.
I'm going to be doing the same thing. I don't know.
It gives you the cash bonuses. Like, I mean, so if this is going to be something like GTA Online, you'll probably want something that makes it easier to get cash because of all the stupid grindy things that they make you do in the online version, right?
Yeah. So, and I'm not sure. It's kind of tough with Red Dead Redemption because how is the multiplayer going to be? The first Red Dead, the last Red Dead, I should say, multiplayer wasn't really a part of it.
Mm-mm.
This one, but now we're in different times now.
You got to look at their online. Like, what are they doing with the online? They have in GTA Online.
I don't think it's going to be like
apartments,
GTA
and you can.
It's a different game. Like,
but the thing is, they said that they're taking like the heists. That one where they did worth it's the dance club. They said that those worked out really well, and that's how they envisioned online should be, and so that they're using that inspiration for this online.
Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I probably am wrong. But when I think of Red Dead Redemption, and this is all part of them having to. I mean, when did the first Red Dead come? Not the first. That's incorrect. The last Red Dead Redemption. There was Red Dead Redemption games on the PlayStation. 2010. I mean, we're talking May of 2010. So we're talking
8 years.
Over 8 years. Talking 8.5 years ago is when I played for the first time Red Dead Redemption, and I don't picture Red Dead as a multiplayer game. And I know
I think they're reinventing it. Personally.
I think they're going to reinvent it. Yeah.
I think they got so much success off of GTA Online. I mean, that's what's bringing in cash for them.
Oh yeah, hands down.
Everybody purchased the base game, but then that would have been the end of it because there was no real income source based on the story mode. But I think they found GTA Online is a way that we can continually have people buying cash, the shark cards, and putting continuous money into our company. I think they're going to have very similar concepts. They probably learned a lot of lessons over time off of GTA Online. Man, we shouldn't have done this, or we should have done this. And so I think this is an opportunity. It probably will be better than GTA Online because they can leave out the stuff that they found didn't work, and put it started out with things that they find work well on GTA Online and kind of base it off of that. But I'm wondering, I mean, what are you going to get? A hotel? Are you going to have a cabin somewhere? Like I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm assuming they've got to give you things that it's your goal to buy this and to own this and to run this.
I'm not a very story driven person, but I feel like in GTA, not that the story doesn't matter, but the story itself kind of plays into the multiplayer. The story is this crazy hundreds of millions of dollars, flying jets, doing all this crazy stuff, repoing cars, working with drug dealers. That's the base game of GTA, right? That's the story of GTA. And then you get into the multiplayer, and it's kind of the same thing. It's just things exploding, tanks driving down the middle of the street. It's insanity. But
there will be no jets and things like that, which will make it a lot better for online.
Well, yeah, but see, that's what's so weird is I feel like in Red Dead, again, based off the last Red Dead in 2010, the campaign was very, the story mode was very precise.
Yeah.
There was some crazy stuff, but it wasn't on the level of GTA and GTA Online. For the most part, you followed a track. There was a story. You did certain things. You argue with the carnival guy, the guy selling the shady medicine, all this other stuff. You do all that. I just don't know how they can. I don't know how they're going to transition that into some crazy, some like insane multiplayer thing. I don't know how they're going to do that switch. I think GTA, the single player, is so crazy that the multiplayer kind of fits into it. And I don't know how they're going to do that on Red Dead.
And that's what I'm kind of struggling with.
It can't. It cannot be the same. There's no way the GTA multiplayer can essentially be reskinned into Red Dead and fit the story. I don't think it'll work. Totally wrong. I mean, I haven't played the game. Nobody's played the game, but it's different. The story in Red Dead is much more reserved than the story in Grand Theft Auto. Strip clubs and killing hookers and drug dealing, and I mean, it's just it all wraps up into this craziness that multiplayer is. I don't know how Red Dead is going to do that. And guess what? They'll probably do it really well. I just can't envision it right now, if that makes any sense.
So what I'm going to think is it's probably going to be a playable story mode to where you're kind of going around. I mean, there's a limited number of people really there, right? So I think it's just you're going to be going through. You'll probably be able to sit down at a poker table, play poker if you want to.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
You'll be able to walk into a saloon. I think they're going to take the level of immersion to a whole nother level with being able to like go up and talk to people, or having those conversations. One thing I think they're doing that they did fairly well in the original ones with GTA, but I think that they're going to do in this is to where when you're walking around the town, you could sit down and watch the town move around you, which I think is going to be really cool. I think that's something that they tried to make happen with GTA, to where you see people walking down the street. It looks like things are happening the whole time. But I think that really that they're going to have this to where you can watch like that person is doing a job. Because I've heard the stories I've heard. There's people that have been able to play it for to write articles on it, and they said it gets down to the level of this guy. He walked up and he robbed a shopkeeper. The shopkeeper ran out. A sheriff came on his horse. He shot the horse. The horse landed on the shopkeeper's leg, and the shopkeeper is sitting there holding his leg, yelling because the horse landed on it, and it was dead, and he can't get his leg out. And all this played out, and that's not a scripted event. Like, that's just how it happened to go down. He shot the horse, and it happened to land on the shopkeeper's leg, and he's sitting there. And like, how can you do that level of detail without it being scripted? I mean, I think they've been working on some crazy details to where you're just kind of run around the world and just play, like do stuff. I think it's going to be less about let's go do a bank robbery. I'm sure they'll have train heists, they'll have bank robberies. Who knows? They're going to have to come up with a lot of those things because they can't go with we're going to rob a bank and we're going to, take these drugs and deliver them to this guy. I mean, they're going to do it in the Red Dead style. But I think it'll still be, you're just kind of in a world. You get a couple of other people with you and you guys can go rob something or do something, run around the world.
Yeah.
I think it'll feel better than GTA. Because that's one thing is GTA just doesn't feel the same when you're running around in GTA Online for me.
The online's just an absolute cluster F. I mean, I
see helicopters. People zip by on motorcycles. They get rockets or whatever flying from helicopters that are way far away. It's just, I think that they made some mistakes with that. I think they'll have an easier time of pulling that off with everything's on the ground. You're using horses. And so you can run around and actually play.
And PH is reminding us that the online mode is coming way after the release with the single player. I don't know if they've even announced when it's actually coming out, but I think the more reserved style of game will allow the multiplayer to be a little more, I guess balance is the word, right? Because you can't just, if you're not pumping in hundreds of dollars on GTA Online, you're not going to compete with these people that have got, there's people that have invested literally hundreds of dollars into shark cards. I think shark cards are what they are.
Yeah.
So,
well, and they're going to be doing, I'm trying to think of when the day I saw something that they're doing the online beta, and I think the beta is like in December, November or December. Yeah.
According to Salt's in November.
Yeah. So, I mean, depending how open that is and whether it's something everyone will be able to play. I mean, they may just have online going for a week or something. It's hard to say. But it's not going to be that long after.
Yeah. I mean,
so, I don't know.
I'm very excited.
That's one. Yeah, that's the game I'm looking forward to the most.
I'll tell you what. I don't get excited about game launches very often. I mean, I get kind of hyped for Call of Duty right around that time of year. I have been waiting a very long time for Red Dead 2.
Yeah, that's the only reason I bought this PS4. I'm thinking of getting a 4K TV and a PS4 Pro around this November.
Some Lance stuff right there, my man. You're investing some serious cash into making the video game happen. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I figured it'd be fun to, because I've been playing, and Laura plays a lot of games on PS4 now.
So you could throw the other PS4 in another room, make it all work.
And so then I could put the other PS4 on the other screen. And so then we have two.
So that means when you want to play, you don't have to argue.
Well, there's usually no arguing, but
yeah, it's my turn. I paid for it. God damn it, it's mine. Playtime is over.
I play a lot more games than she does. So she gets home and she's like, "Hey, you want to play some? We want to play some Rocket League?" I'm like, "All right, I guess."
Ryan's like, "No, I've been playing video games all day while I was at school."
Time.
Yeah, I've been playing video games with my online friends all day. So I don't want to play your plebeian Rocket League. No, I mean, I don't. I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to Red Dead.
Yeah. Okay, so. And then also, we got some other ones coming up here. Overkill's The Walking Dead. That's one that's coming out, I mean, pretty soon. We've seen videos of it, teasers, but really it's this is going to be a beautiful game. Just seeing if it matches anything close to the videos, as far as, because that's a hard thing. Most of what we've seen is all cutscenes.
Yep, all cutscenes.
And so it's hard to say. It could be a really kind of ugly game, but hey, the cutscenes are great. But November 6th will be Overkill's The Walking Dead, which I think is going to be a really good kind of zombie survival. I don't know how open world it will be versus kind of putting you down a track. I don't know. It looks like a good game, but that's the issue, is when everything is a cutscene. I would really like to see some gameplay of here's what it's going to feel like. And the fact that they haven't shown gameplay when it's only a couple months out. I mean, I saw there was at E3 2018, they showed a short amount of gameplay.
I think we talked about it.
Yeah. But it wasn't, if I remember correctly, it was only like 7 minutes. And so I don't know if that's something that really shows off what the game is about. You can't tell in that amount of time is how much of this is on a track. Is this like The Last of Us, where you're going down a path? It always ends in the same place.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of gathered out of that gameplay that we're doing in there. It's not really a big open world type of a game. I have a feeling it's going to be more of a story along a track, which is fine if that's what if the goal is to tell a story. But, it's not going to be you're going to play through it once and then it'll be, okay, I played it and I'm done. Because that's how The Last of Us was. You don't feel like, oh, I'm going to go back and play some more of The Last of Us today. Well, if you beat it, you beat it. The end of the story, you've done it. You wait for the next one to come out. And I just have a feeling that that's going to be how this one is. But we'll see. I mean, it could be, since they've only shown like that 7 minutes, it's kind of hard to say.
And that'll be out November 6th. Another big one people have been waiting for is, of course, Fallout 76, which I think it was a real roller coaster. There's a lot of hype, like, oh man, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And then now I think there's a lot of, I don't know if anxiety is the right word, looking forward to it. I can tell you what, I really don't care. I've totally been on the roller coaster of like, this is going to be amazing, and as more details have kind of trickled out, it seems like it's going to be just like a botched like single player game with some weird co-op elements. I don't know. And I don't know how it's going to sell on launch, but I can tell you that there's a lot of Fallout fans that like real Fallout. My friend Dave's a great example. Super big Fallout fan is like not interested in all with this game, and that's a problem. He is peak Fallout fan, and he's just like, this game just is not appealing to me. And maybe it's a lack of details at this point or whatever, but.
So on October 8th, they're going to be doing that beta. Remember they said they would have a beta that was before? Mm-hmm. And so I think that'll be a good opportunity.
But you got to pre-order it to get access.
But you'll be able to even see people on Twitch, playing it. I think that'll help, because I think right now we're like, okay, what are they even talking about? Like the things that they've told us really make us nervous that this is going to be a very limited game. It's going to be pretty much Fallout, maybe without so much stuff, right? In multiplayer, which would be, I mean, you could almost do that with a mod.
Yeah.
If you had a really extensive mod. So we'll see in 2 weeks here, October 8th. They'll do the beta. We can check it out, and hopefully we're surprised. Hopefully we're reading too much into it of them limiting PvP. And
I think Bethesda has done a terrible, and I can't understate this, how they've done a terrible job with the PR of this game. I mean, there's conflicting information from the same guy, Todd, whatever his last name is. They did E3, and some would say it was the star of the show at E3, and then he's re-interviewed like a month and a half later on GameSpot or IGN TV or somewhere, and like totally backtracks on like how expansive the multiplayer is gonna be, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah. Like, and I'm gonna argue with I'm gonna agree with PH here in chat saying he's just saying Fallout 76 is just gonna be bad, and it very well may be. I mean, I think they're letting the multiplayer hype, the multiplayer microtransaction, because that's inevitably what this will turn into. I'm not saying it will be on launch, but the reason the multiplayer thing is so popular for Red Dead and GTA is because they're making a freaking fortune. Fortnite cleared like $90 million in 3 months on iOS with microtransactions. You know, that's kind of the road they're going down, and I think unfortunately it could ruin the game.
Yeah. I think they would have gotten a much better reaction in the long run if they would have just said, "Hey, we're going to make another Fallout, but we're going to make it to where it's co-op with your friends. So you can play online, you can go jump in 4 of your friends, 8 of your friends, and you can run around a big world and play some multiplayer Fallout." I think that the problem is they tried to hype it as this is going to be online, and, you know, that you're going to have all these other people you can play against, and it's going to be open world. And I think that they oversold it at that point. I think if they would have just limited the expectations of this is going to be Fallout that allows you to co-op with other people, I think that would be something they could sell, and still people would understand immediately what that means. With what they've done right now, people just don't understand what it means.
I just think it's I just think it's a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
There's I'm sure both internal and external pressure to be more than a single player game. I mean, we've seen this. Single player is not popular because you buy once and that's it. Maybe you sell some DLC, maybe you sell it in parts, but that's it. And that's not popular. That doesn't keep money flowing in. And but that's that. I mean, that's the long and short of it. If you don't have an expansive multiplayer, you can't make any extra money. You sell the title for $59.99 and you call it a day. That's what you get. There's no possible opportunity to make any additional revenue on the game if you don't have a multiplayer besides DLC. But I mean the money is in the microtransactions, which are fine. Well, I don't mind microtransactions, but when the identity of Fallout is now in limbo, and I think they could do some serious damage to the name of their franchise.
Credibility.
Yeah, huge credibility. I mean, this could be a total botch by Bethesda. We could be wrong. Maybe we don't have. I mean, Bethesda's, they're just like Rockstar. They keep that information real close, and they let little bits and pieces trickle out. But boy, have they handled this poorly. This is a PR nightmare. I mean,
if you look at what we've seen with Red Dead and the stuff that they trickle out, it's incredibly polished. Like, they already know the answers, and they're just letting you know information. And I don't get that sense from Fallout. I get the sense of, well, we don't. I get to where I don't feel like they even really know what it's going to be yet.
Well, Todd pretty much said that during E3.
The thing is how can you not know? Like, you're this close to being released, and you don't know yet. Like, it should have been like currently in beta, like the final versions practically being tested internally by their testers for a couple months just to see how stable it is and that everything balances. Like, and they're still haven't even like finished nailing down core mechanics. I mean, that's what I gather from him when he says, well, we don't really know what we're going to do with this part. You have to know. It's like 6 months away at that point.
Yeah.
That was just crazy to me. It just it seemed very unlike a AAA studio, the way that he was talking. And this may not be like a normal title for them. It's like, this could be a test. And
oh, it is. I mean, they said it. They literally said this was a test. They said they've wanted to do this and they're doing it.
But I don't like the test because they're treating it like an alpha. Like in their minds, this being a test, that's the alpha mentality that they shouldn't be doing, because that gives them the ability to say, oh, it didn't work and we're going to reverse it.
Quick thanks to our friend Grizzly Bear for the sub, and our friend Firebomb for throwing us some bits. Firebomb was asking, people play COD on PC? Yeah, the new one's got a lot of emphasis on PC. So thank you. We appreciate it, guys. We really do. Yeah. Well, if I'm remembering correctly, and this could be wrong, but from what I remember of E3, obviously I can't watch the video right now. Todd Howard said something to the extent of, we said we were going to do a multiplayer game, so we did. It was something along that line. Like, we said we were going to do it, and and this is what we're doing. Like, we made the decision from day one, the next Fallout is going to have multiplayer. And I think I think that's what he said. I mean, I don't know if you remember something, but it was something along those lines of like, we said we were going to do it, we're doing it. I think that's what it was.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it rolls out. But as I said, it's going to be releasing. We'll try it. If it doesn't work, I mean, people won't play it. If it's too much reliant on the multiplayer and people aren't interested, the beauty of the original Fallouts is you can play them whenever you want.
It's incredible. Like Fallout 3, anytime you want. Load that
bad
boy up. You
just jump in, you play for a while. This is a big step away from that. This does not allow that kind of gameplay. You have to coordinate.
But it will.
Going towards a goal.
But it will, because they've said that you can play it as single player as well. So that's what I don't get.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go back and forth all day. We just don't know.
How many quests are going to be in there? Is it going to be to where you can just mindlessly play for hours and hours and hours? It's, from what they've shown so far, it's not the expansive world that I've seen in the other Fallouts. It just doesn't seem like it. Maybe it is.
Your guess
I haven't seen all the NPCs. I haven't seen all these things to do. PH says it's online only, so you have to be online. You can't.
Yeah, it is, but
it checks in online.
But you can play it as a solo
single player. Just have it not queue people.
You can turn off the ability to let people join your session.
But see, this is a lot like Destiny. Destiny is a very similar thing where you're playing and people kind of come and go into your instance, and like you run across people. That seems kind of normal. This seems less like that. I mean, maybe it is very much like Destiny, actually, because if you look at Destiny, you can create a group.
I hate that.
You can do stuff, but and other people kind of come and go in your instance that I guess they choose randomly to show up and you see them. But the issue is, if you're building a base, how does that work? I just don't get it. If you're building a base, how do you not have consistent other people? How can you know who you're going against if they're just coming and going in an instant?
Well, this is what we've been talking about. Is nobody has a freaking clue. I mean, they've been vague.
That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't see how you can get competitive against anyone else and be online if you can't guarantee that you go to this one place and that person that you've been planning on raiding for a couple of days, that their base is going to be there.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah, and like you're just saying, you can't select a server, it automatically puts you into one. So I think all you do is select your base, and so you have your base, and you may randomly. How do you run across other people? Can you jump instances? Disconnect and reconnect. You're on another server. You're seeing different people. I don't get it.
This is either going. There's two kind of paths that two ways I see this unfolding. Either the PR has just been really atrocious and the game itself will be pretty good, or the game is going to be an absolute abysmal disaster. I don't really see any other. I don't see anything else. I think they've either got a PR nightmare, pretty good game, or it's just going to be a what the hell is this?
Yeah, because PH is bringing up, it's blue. Your bases are blueprinted, so you can place them anywhere you want. So, are you designing a base separately, and then you just run in, and then you drop it somewhere? and as he said, the nuking thing would then be useless. Like, what's the point? If I can just pick up my base and run, and it's never persistent, why would you nuke anybody? You're never going to see them again. Like, what's the point? I don't know. This will be interesting. I don't see how they're going to pull it off. And I hope that they've made it clearer than what their PR has been, or that it's clear in the game.
You're asking the questions that if I knew the answers to, we'd have probably have a lot more people here in the in the chat watching. Brian, I have no idea.
So Saul says nuking is for creating instances, not for damaging other players, which they hinted at it was for damaging other players. What if it is you're creating the Fallout universe by initiating a nuke that creates the instance that you're going to play in? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's starting the Fallout.
I don't think it's starting the Fallout, but as Saul's saying, it creates a high-level dungeon for loot because it creates a wasteland with you're going to have crazy souped-up monsters. Big problem. By the way,
temporary?
Yeah, it is temporary, yes. But this now gets, again, we talked about this in the past, talked about this months ago, is there is going to be a single player, but you're not going to be able to do any of the higher level things by yourself. You're going to need other people to do so. Like the nuke, it requires like 6 people. Or no, it requires at least 4.
So it sounds like a raid. I mean, this is sounding more and more like Destiny to me. Like, it sounds like they're making a Fallout version of Destiny, because this sounds like a raid. It's probably you do a nuke and it starts some cinematic scene, and then you go into a raid.
I mean, I don't know. I hated Destiny. I hate that grindy place. I hated the original. I hated Destiny 1. Couldn't stand it.
I just have a feeling that this is what it's going to be like.
Well, then it's going to be an abysmal failure because that's not what people want.
Yeah.
I mean, the Fallout people want super in-depth, expansive, play whenever you want, play 200 times story. That's what people want. They don't want this Destiny garbage. Not that my personal opinion of Destiny, nevertheless. People do not want Destiny Fallout. People want
I think that they
Fallout.
fixed some things with Destiny too. But yeah, I think that they probably saw the success of that and how many people are playing it and how they've been able to sell some sort of a currency in game and, gets people continually playing. It's just everything that we've described. Now that I've played Destiny 2, I keep getting that vibe of what the world that they're trying to create is it feels like they're doing a more of a Destiny 2 instance.
I hope we're wrong. I hope it's just all misinformation and that the game's going to come out, it's going to be real solid. But the more that we sit here and talk about it, and the more that I think about it, I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm all depressed now.
It makes me a little bit nervous.
Makes me sad. It makes me sad, man.
All right, so let's move on to the next game, which may not make you any happier. So Battlefield 5.
Why would that not make me happy?
Well, okay, so they had the online demo. Did you get a chance to play that?
Got access, did not have a chance to play though.
Okay, so I did play a little bit.
Oh, okay, good.
And for me, I had the free demo. I played it like 3 times. Had no interest in continuing.
I like Battlefield though.
Yeah, but
I get every Battlefield.
I've looked at the projections of what people think is going to sell. So Call of Duty has taken over as far as the number of players has passed Battlefield 5 or Battlefield for the first time. There's more people playing Call of Duty games than there are Battlefield now, which before it was always Battlefield was always had more players.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
And they're looking at this probably being one of the poorest performing as far as the number of sales Battlefields yet. So I don't know. I just didn't feel it. But Battlefield's not really I played them and I don't enjoy them as much.
Yeah. See, I enjoy Battlefield. I have a good time with them. I play with a group of people that I enjoy playing with.
Yeah.
So
and I just feel like I'd have to play. If I played it a lot, I'd learn how the guns work and everything. I probably would enjoy it more. But I just didn't feel like, I didn't want to play. Like I had a week or whatever I could have played and I didn't feel like playing it anymore. And I think that's not a good thing when people are like, I want to play it some more. Oh, they took, the demo's over. the beta access is over. I can't play. I got to wait till it's released. Like I felt no sense of that whatsoever. And so I think that might be a problem for them.
There you go. All right.
But that'll be November 20th. And then Days Gone, which is going to be next year, but it fits right in our wheelhouse, will be February 22nd. It is an actual zombie game.
All right. Oh boy, I didn't realize how much time we've spent on this. I think it's fine. But so we're about an hour in. Do we want to do a game giveaway? Yeah.
Yes. So this will be exclamation point giveaway in chat, and this will be a 60-point raffle. And I'm going to be giving away a copy of The Final Station. This is a pixel graphics survival post-apocalyptic indie game. So we're a survival podcast, and this is a survival game. It's for sale right now, $15 on Steam. It's got very positive reviews, and so it's a nice, interesting. It's made by Tiny Build. I don't know if you've seen any of the other games, but it's a nice pixel story-based game. It's supposed to be a lot of fun.
This is coming in right now to the show. Thanks, PH, for posting it. I'm looking at a video here about the Xbox, and apparently Philip Spencer's just announced that the Xbox will support mouse and keyboard. If somebody can get me a timestamp on that video, I can't. I don't really have a way to scrub through it. That would be interesting.
Game changer?
No, I don't know if it'd be a game changer. It'd be interesting.
Don't you think this fits into the whole... I think Microsoft views an Xbox as a Windows machine anyways, right? I think that they're bringing Windows... I think they're bringing Windows closer to Xbox as far as just being a service. It's a thing that you turn on and it always updates itself, all that stuff. And they have their subscription to where, you can play Windows games, if you own it on Windows, you also can have it on the Xbox, or you own it on an Xbox, you can play it in Windows. I think they're trying to take away that separation.
Okay, so I'm reading an article right here. First of all, they had a soon TM moment. 27 months ago, they said that keyboard and mouse support was only a few months away. That was 27 months ago. They had a blog post that came out just a little while ago, and they said that for Xbox insiders, they will be rolling out full mouse and keyboard support, quote, in the coming weeks. Ars Technica says that could mean the feature's 27 weeks away. But they will have full information during a November 10th presentation of its Xbox Insider Xbox video series, which is less than 7 weeks away. Developers, and this is a quote now from the article, developers can now build mouse and keyboard support in their games if and how they choose. It's important to note that mouse and keyboard support for games is added on a title-by-title basis entirely at the developer's discretion. So it's not going to be click in, mouse, keyboard, everything works. You get a little mouse on your Xbox. It's going to be certain games, maybe more BR games. I'm trying to think. Obviously, like driving games, for most part, better with a controller. But maybe a PUBG, maybe a Daisy. I mean, hell, I played Daisy on the Xbox during the Inside.
Maybe
program.
those
That'd
titles that really struggle with, or even you can have a mouse companion. Because imagine if they sell it as an extra peripheral where there's something. I mean, they could even have a controller with a mouse on it.
No, you wouldn't want. No, you don't want a full keyboard and mouse. I mean, the PlayStation's got a mouse on it.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes using the controller is kind of a pain. Imagine if they had just in between, they had something to where it was like a thumb pad, to where you could do some really quick action.
Like a nunchuck on the Wii.
Yeah, or the PS4, you've got that button that you can.
Yeah, but that thing sucks.
But imagine if you had one that was actually more responsive to where you could do some quick actions with it. I mean, I think this just opens up to where they could create some interesting peripherals that are treated like a mouse and keyboard, but you could probably do other things with them.
Yeah, and apparently Razer is going to be their official partner on this.
Do you think they're going to lock it down to only using certain brands?
Oh, God, I freaking hope not. I really hope not. I mean, I'm not buying I'm not buying another Razer keyboard to play games on my Xbox. Those keyboards are too expensive, and their mice suck. I mean, I've had 3 dead Razer Nagas, or 2 dead, and I decided I'm not going to have a third. So I hope not. It may be. But again, games like DayZ, a game like Minecraft on the Xbox, games that could really excel with DayZ specifically, really could see a keyboard and mouse. I really enjoyed it on the Xbox. But a keyboard and mouse I feel like would be cool. They did a good job with the controller support. Ark, another great example of a game that could probably benefit from a keyboard and mouse. So that's kind of cool news. That makes me a little excited.
This will be to where someone can have the equivalence of kind of a gaming PC. They just don't have a computer. They have like what we have with monitors sitting here hooked up to an Xbox. I mean, I think that's the ultimate goal. Well, and someone sitting at a desk playing Xbox on a regular monitor with it, but don't have a full PC because they don't want to spend the money.
Well, and I think this is we always say this. You know, people want to say, "Oh, Fortnite is ruining gaming" or whatever. It's bringing more people into the PC master race, and I think this is
they're waking up to that.
Well,
they're realizing they can't do the same thing with building and do all those things. They can't do what they see people on Twitch doing. They can't do it on their console.
But I'm just saying in general, it's bringing all these people that are now, you know, you've got a bunch of people that are playing Fortnite on the Xbox and PlayStation, Switch and iPhone or whatever. You could have some of those people now want to invest $1,500. I mean, if you're starting from scratch, no monitor, no nothing, you're looking at $1,500 to $2,000 easily to get a new rig, a new system built. With you have to buy monitor, peripherals, whatever you're buying. And now if you're looking at this with the Xbox, and you know the Xbox is what, $350, $400. Get a keyboard and mouse, get a little comfortable with that. Maybe, you know, a couple of years later, you decide, hey, time to build a PC. I'm already comfortable with the keyboard and mouse thing, so that could be cool.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I think that this is going to definitely change, because that's the one thing is you always felt kind of on an even plane when you play on console.
Well,
everybody's using
a
controller. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's playing a controller if it's something that's not cross-platform. You know, so you feel like they have as much of a disadvantage using a controller as you do.
Yeah.
Well, if you throw in the mix now, all of a sudden, half the people are using keyboard and mouse, half the people are using controllers. How do you keep that maintained sense of fairness?
That's always been a problem.
And that's where I think they're really going to have to limit. You don't want to have a Call of Duty where people are playing on the keyboard and mouse and other people are playing with a controller.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, you just can't get, there's a certain level of something. Well, especially Battlefield. I mean, Battlefield is probably a better example because it's really hard to do that fine-tune aiming that you can more easily do with a mouse. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be one where if half the people are using a mouse and keyboard and you're using a controller, they probably have the ability to spin around and aim at you very quickly and shoot you from a long distance using a sniper, and there would be an advantage. I think that's just that would be my concern. Is it's almost impossible to do that same level of accuracy with a controller.
I think that's good. Microsoft's doing some good stuff. They got a whole bunch of games backwards compatible. Played Modern Warfare 2 with our friend Musty. That was a lot of fun. Now they got this going on and they've got the cross-platform on buy game on Xbox, play it on the Windows 10 Marketplace, buy it on the Windows 10 Marketplace, play it on the Xbox. It's cool to see some of this stuff.
Do you think they're trying to make it to where Xbox is less of a, here's the Xbox One, here's the 360, and get it to be more of a service? Pretty much their computers. I mean, they're making them for Windows already, right? That your Xbox is pretty much just a Windows computer that they have different ones that they release more often because it's less of a specialized hardware with a specialized operating system. It can be pretty much a Windows machine now. It's a gaming rig.
Potentially.
I think that's probably where they're aiming, to where if internally there may be very little difference between it and a regular PC.
I think that may be part of it.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
We've got some news.
That was the intro. That was the intro notes.
Yeah, I know. That was hardly even on the notes. Let's talk about some games that are more prevalent now than I think a lot of other things. Let's talk about SCUM quickly.
Yes.
And some we've got a lot of news, and we'll have the full show notes. You know, we stopped. I guess we should have done 2 hours last week. We would have been able to fill this. I didn't know. So let's talk about SCUM. They've got some patches out. You've been playing SCUM. Have you been playing it still? I know you were playing it a couple weeks ago.
Not the last couple days, just because I've been playing Destiny more. But yeah, no, I played it, and it is fun. They are. So let's go over really quick. One thing that they did post here a couple days ago is they banned about more than 5,000 people so far with hardware bans.
Yep.
And they said they do have a zero tolerance for cheating. And also it says we are also working on some new ways to battle cheaters, including possible region locks.
Oh, there you go.
Which I think the industry is starting to wake up to. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, Nick pretty much started the whole downhill thing here of, hey, why don't you just block China? And amazing, most of your cheaters are gone. I mean, not allowed to say that. I think these guys are finding, okay, well, when 90% of our cheaters, and that's not a real statistic, but
yeah, it's an infection podcast. Who cares?
When let's say 90% of your cheaters are from China, okay, region block China. Now you can deal with the small amount of cheaters that are left in the United States, right? Comparison to the number of players.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that they did mention. And I know that they've said that they've had a lot more sales than they anticipated. They sold by the 18th, so about a week ago, right? They sold over 1 million units.
That's impressive.
In less than a month. So to celebrate that, they put out a golden handgun. So this has been Devolver Digital's biggest launch that they've had.
But this isn't even the freaking Devolver game. They're publishing it.
Yeah, they're publishing, but this is the biggest launch that they've had under that.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, it would be great if they would have been at freaking PAX West. That would have been nice.
Yeah, which is weird. Yeah, this was their biggest title, and yet none of their developers were there. But I mean, it was really close to a launch, but still
odd.
So it became their biggest launch to date on the first day of early access. So that's good. So they put out a golden gun, which is a gun that just has a gold skin on it. It's the Deagle 50. And this says also all supporter pack owners now get a nice watch in game. Oh. And what's funny is they put it on 420. Must have some pot smokers.
Oh,
whoa. Isn't that edgy?
Wow, that's edgy, my man.
Yep. So it says that's the name of the watch in game. It's called the Nice Watch. Right now, it merely checks the time of day, but in the future updates, it will have some sort of more useful features. And then they've been doing a lot of fixes to it. Because, I mean, there's something they've released and a lot of people started playing it. And of course, that means that they're going to probably find a lot of issues. But they put out a couple of hot fixes in this. And it's been, personally, I've really enjoyed it. As far as just the gameplay, it is very much of a DayZ type of a feel, but I think that there's more to it than DayZ. More details to track, which are actually enjoyable in the game.
Well, I think it's got more. There is some aspects where it's got some more details, but I'll give you a great example. Relatively easy to load ammunition into your gun, right?
Yeah.
Always an issue in DayZ. How the hell do I get bullets into a gun? Always an issue. Even on the freaking Xbox version. I mean, I swear to God, I've got 45 minutes of gameplay of me trying to figure out how the hell to reload my gun. And it's always that issue with DayZ. And for some people, they're all into that and that's all they want. For me, I don't, if I have to do that, I'm not interested in playing your game. I mean, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I don't have a whole lot of free time to just oh, whatever. It doesn't matter if it takes, half an hour to figure out how to get, or, half an hour to load ammo because you got to have the bullet. Then you got to have the magazine to put the bullet, to load the bullets into. Then you have to sometimes find I remember one game you had to find a loader to load the bullets into the magazine or the clip. And then you had to load that into the gun. It was just like, what the hell? What is this?
Well,
Christ, I'll just go out to buy a pistol at the store and deal with it myself. It'd be easier. Like, what? This is crazy.
So one thing they did note in here, people are complaining about boxes and shelters disappearing in multiplayer. They said, through internal tests, we've been unable to reproduce this bug. They said that we'll continue trying to reproduce it, but we want you to keep in mind that chests and shelters can be destroyed by other players. So these are people playing, not realizing that there is a DayZ element. There is there's other people playing that aren't nice. This is the one thing I've learned over the years, is that people don't play together nicely when you put them in online. So it's probably not that it's disappearing. It's probably that someone is destroying it.
Griefing.
Yes. So people are getting griefed, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, my stuff's gone. What? There's a bug, and they're filing a report. No, it's people are coming and destroying your stuff, and that's how it works.
That's pretty good. So I like that. And I like the very what'd you call it? I guess a backhanded insult from their team.
Yeah, they're like, we'll continue trying to reproduce this, but
there's a chance that some jackass online is actually destroying your stuff.
Yeah, which is, I think, will count as probably 100% of what's happening.
There you go.
So, but yeah, this is it's a fun game to play. It's not, they're still adding content. It's not like there's end game. It's kind of like DayZ, to where you're just kind of running around and doing stuff, right? There is the how long can I survive? In this game, there are there's a leaderboard of who survived the longest, who's got the most points, because as you survive, if you die, you lose points. If you kill things, if you do not objectives, but craft things and do all these different things in the game, your points go up. So your goal is to be at the top of the leaderboard on that server. So that's kind of what you're trying to do at the moment. Eventually, I think that'll be either to where some people have such high numbers that they're crazy. Of course, I guess that could be your server goal, is that you're constantly trying to kill that person so that their points go down. But I think that as they start to add in more content, that'll become less of an issue, because they are going to be having to where there's more story to it. There's kind of an end goal to everything. So that'll be interesting to see how they roll that out and how they actually get end game in this and have it not be 100% like DayZ or Just Survive.
And I'd recommend SCUM to people. I mean, I haven't played a whole lot of it, so maybe I don't know what my recommendation carries on weight, but I think it's only $20. It's relatively inexpensive. And if this kind of game interests you, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is so far, very polished. The environment's beautiful. They got like one of their guys that does the level design is from Epic.
Oh, cool.
Or, he worked at Epic before, so it's very beautiful as far as the way the light shines through the trees. I mean, it's a very nice looking world. So they've done a really good job. So they're putting their time into it.
There you go. Check it out. SCUM. It is available on Steam, and it is $19.99. So check it out.
Yeah, hard to argue with a price like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. That's a good price point. That's a good price point for these games. Cheap enough that if it is a total flop, which I'm not saying SCUM is, but if it's a total flop, there's not this massive, I don't know, massive may not be the right word, but at $40, you're like, ooh, if this game isn't good, that's getting up there. $20,
Yeah, that regret.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because $20 to $40 you don't think is the big jump, but if you were to drop $20 bill out in the street and lose $20, you'd probably be like, oh man. But if you were to drop $40 out in the street, you'd be like, oh Jesus. I mean, $40. Damn it! Like, my money is gone. So it's.
Yeah, I think it's
weird.
like when it passes that point of being the $20 bill, you're like,
yeah. I mean,
I can handle one $20 bill being gone.
I mean, like, I'll buy anything. I mean, I'll see something on Slick Deals. It's under $20. I'm like, buy. How quickly can it get here? Yeah, I need 6 pasta colanders, because I'm a chef over here and I'm always making 6 pots of pasta and needing to strain them all at the same time. For $11, what a great deal. But, if it was 17.
So do you think this is going to be a trend? So these guys, they did really well with the $20 title.
Yeah.
I think we're getting so many titles out now, unless it's a AAA. We were getting early access games selling for $50-$60.
What was Ark? $40? $39?
Mm-hmm. I think it was 40, originally.
I think 20 to 30 is your sweet spot. $19.99 to $29.99 is your sweet spot. When you get up into the $40 price range, unless you've got a solid product on your hand and it's proven, I think the barrier to entry is, for whatever reason, it's a human psychological thing. 20 versus 40. There's something about $40 and $50. Those denominations that, I mean, it's weird. I don't know. I can't explain. It's human psyche. Like, most people,
I think,
can piss away.
I think everybody
$20.
was hyped about early access. I think when everybody was hyped about early access, all of a sudden people were all willing to pitch in AAA money into a title that's totally unproven.
Yeah.
And doesn't have content yet. But I think that now that hype is gone and people are like, most of those early access games I got sucked.
Yeah, how many times have been screwed? I mean, Christ, you and I, Brian, have probably got a couple $100 tied up in early access, gonna be game, and not even early access, just buying No Man's Sky, buying into an idea instead of buying into what the game actually is. And at that $20 price
point, I think people are worn out on that. And so I think that these companies realize, okay, we can't keep doing that. Like, I think this is going to be the new price point of, if this is early access, if it's unfinished, you can buy a game for $20. It's
got to be 20 or 30. You get into that $40. People are not willing to gamble the $40. Most people, I think, are willing to gamble the 20. 40,
but they were 2 years ago, maybe, 2-3 years ago.
Because there was nothing on the market. I mean, like, the H1Z one was $40, and then when they split it was 20 for King of the Kill, 20 for Zombie Game. I think H1Z one was the $39. I don't remember. I think it was, though.
I think it was.
Because when they split it, I remember it being. I could be wrong, but I want to say that was $40. And again, nobody batted an eye at it.
But I think that was kind of a lull in. I think that was a lull in the gaming market at that time, to where people, these AAA studios weren't putting out as many titles as they are now. And now, I mentioned it last week, people there's so many titles coming out that you're kind of having to plan your budget, to where it's like, I mean, we listed off how many titles that are coming here just in the next 3 months, September, October, November.
Yeah, I want to correct myself. Apparently, H1Z1 was $20 on launch. In the split, they became 20 a piece.
Yeah. After split, it was $20 each. Yeah,
I couldn't remember. Okay, so that was $20 on launch. That was a good call.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. It absolutely is a budgeting thing. I mean, I'm sitting here and planning out I got $60 tied up in. Gonna have $60 tied up in COD on October 12th. Gonna have another $60 tied up in Red Dead when that comes out. I'm probably going to hold off.
Overkill is The Walking Dead.
I'm probably going to hold off on Fallout on launch and see how it goes first. And even so, I don't think I'll buy it in November. I need a new GPU before Battlefield comes out because my computer ain't going to do it. So I need like $500 for a video card, and then I need to buy Battlefield, and then it's Christmas. I mean, then it's December 1, and the worst part about me is I'm going to be gone. So like I'll be gone for 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks for Christmas anyway. So I'm going to have all these freaking games, not going to be able to play any of them. But yeah, you're absolutely right about the budgeting thing, Brian. I mean, I'm looking at myself. I'm going to have to buy a new video card between now and the first of the year if I want to continue to play these. Like even SCUM runs like garbage on my computer. And it's my video card. So I've got $400 or $500 tied up in a video card, and I've probably got another $200 tied up in games before the first of the year. So you're looking at
I think that these studios have to keep that in mind. I think AAA studios always have. That's why they time out releases. That's why they make sure they don't release at the same time as someone else. It's not necessary.
Who delayed their game that we talked about on Saturday?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember the studio.
I'm putting you on the spot, and I don't mean to. Let me look at our note, because you are absolutely right. As the Mavericks has delayed their title.
Oh, Mavericks, yeah, they delayed it.
They are literally releasing in the middle of this. Which is
but there was another title. There's another title that actually moved out to where they're going way after. They delayed it to
Battlefield delayed themselves. Yeah, they
that's right.
They were supposed to come out.
They keep this in mind because they're looking at the titles. Okay, they know a huge percentage of anybody with a PS4 is going to be playing Red Dead Redemption for the next month.
Well, not even PS4, just in general. Gaming, you've literally got some of the biggest franchises and the biggest developers releasing games within 2 months. Activision, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward, which is now Blizzard with Call of Duty, Rockstar GTA with Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout Bethesda. People have been waiting years for a new Fallout, years for a new Red Dead, and then freaking Battlefield. I mean, literally 4 of the biggest titles in gaming are all out between October 12th and November 20th.
Yep. And so it would make no sense if you consider yourself on that tier. It'd make no sense to release during that time.
Yeah, like Mavericks. What in the hell did they do? I don't want to get into it now because we talked about it on the last show. But I'm glad you laid this out, because as I'm looking at this, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not. I mean, you've already paid for it, but I mean, yeah. I'm not buying this game when I'm going to be dropping $700 to $900 on a GPU and games in the next 2 or 3 months. I'm not buying it. And plus, if I buy it, when the hell am I going to play it? I've got all these other games to be playing. I mean, the Red Dead story I'll be playing. I'll be playing Call of Duty, and if Fallout looks like it's pretty decent, I'll be playing that too. When am I, and Battlefield? When am I gonna have time to play Mavericks? And I'm not. I mean, I don't mean to be like piling up on them, but I mean, clearly they didn't have a Brian Aldridge in house lay out what in the hell is coming out between October and December of this year, which is literally like
the first thing that I would look at. I mean, I'd be like, okay, so we're releasing when? I mean, they should have a chart of this. Like, we got to figure out, because they as far as getting announced, like, people are hyped for it. But you know what? The hype that you have for Mavericks is not going to match up to the hype that people have for games like Red Dead.
Not even close. Not even on the same dimension.
No. And so I think that's the danger, is they may have, this may really impact their launch to where now it comes out and it's like, that came and went. There are some people playing it, but that could be the difference to where the original date that they had, like, there wasn't people who were still waiting for those games. Right. And they've lost that and that waiting. Because right now we're kind of in a period where people are waiting for the next game. I mean, what game is the hot game right now that everybody's playing? I think we're kind of, yeah, but that's been for a year.
Am I wrong? Absolutely. It's what everybody's playing.
But I'm saying people are waiting. Like, that's starting to die off a little bit. People are waiting for another game to keep them busy. Whole another game.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as October rolls around, people are going to be like, oh, I'm playing this. People will be streaming this. It'll get people's interest. So I don't know. I just think that right now we're in one of those periods, kind of like what brought on the whole early access. We're in one of those kind of lulls of a game hasn't come out, because they time these things. I mean, they time it for Christmas.
Yeah.
They want people buying, they're using their Christmas money, asking for this for Christmas, taking out loans in anticipation for Christmas from their parents or grandparents, to buy these games.
Brian, would you buy me a new video card for Christmas? You want to pass that by Laura?
No, I'll ask her. Right? I'll ask her, see what she says.
Be like,
she's cheaper than I am.
Nick's a really nice guy, and he would love it.
I got to ask for a video card for Christmas.
Yeah, though. But you can ask her to buy you the video card. You'll be set. And then you could buy me the video card. I think this is a great idea.
With my money instead? I've actually been saving money on my Amazon account because I got to figure out what I'm going to get.
Get a video card.
Yeah.
Because you and I have the same generation cards. I don't know if you're noticing it with SCUM.
970.
But boy, am I hurting a little bit with. I'm hurting with SCUM. Part of it is the monitor. It's driving 4 monitors, which is part of my problem.
Yeah, see, I've got 3.
Yeah, I don't know if you're noticing it, but it's not very smooth.
Well, they've got this new tier, the 20 is it the 2048 or 2080?
Yeah, the 20
the
line.
1080 series another good. What did you say? Which one?
Yeah, the 20. So is the new line.
I think it's like a 2080 Ti or whatever. Those ones are performance-wise, I think they're about 70-something% faster than the 1080s, which is crazy compared to our 970s. And you have a 960, is it?
Yeah, I have a 970. Do you have a 970? Then I have a 960, yeah.
So think of how much faster the 1080 is, faster than ours, and then put on top of that another 70%. So, I mean, if you're willing to pitch out that money for that video card, like that should last you a while.
Yeah, I'd hope.
So.
This video card, this whole video setup has lasted me since I had to build a new system when we started Infection because my old system was just not capable. So I want to say within like 20 weeks of starting the show, maybe even less, it was like new system time, and that was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago at this point. So I've definitely got mine.
So PH says he doesn't suggest a 2080, and I don't know if you'd want to pick the initial one that comes out.
They're expensive. They're like $900 if you're buying one, $900.
But how much is a 1080? It's still probably like $700.
No, you get a 1080 for $500, $600. Yeah,
they've gone down $500.
I'm just looking at Amazon. You can get the Asus GTX 1080 for $531.
So he says you get better performance of dual 1070s, which my issue is I actually have had dual 970s. And I was running SLI, and I found that most games did not support SLI. And
how
so
long ago was
I ended
that,
up, like probably 2 years ago, year and a half ago. Because I took the other one and I put it in Laura's computer just because I wasn't seeing the performance that I expected out of having 2 970s. And so I was like, this is no point. Like I'd have a better benefit for her to be able to play a game with me.
Yeah.
Off of just putting it over there.
Yeah, nevertheless, this is all illustrating why why the PC
whole
market,
budgeting thing.
Well, but
we're all figuring out it's going to cost us this much.
But the whole budgeting thing. But you and I are literally talking about paying more for a GPU than. By the way, I want a Nintendo Switch as well. What, Brian? Where am I going to find out? Brian, we need you to start donating, folks. We need you to start sending your cash over here. But I mean, you're literally talking about spending more money on a GPU than I can go out and buy the relatively brand new Microsoft Nintendo Switch, or an Xbox, or a PlayStation with games. Each of those systems with games won't even come close. So I'm gonna have to spend $550, $600 on a video card, which I'm not complaining about. But why do we look at console still being the leader and still kind of driving the industry?
Because they just work.
Well, and they're cheap. I mean, Jesus, you can go to Target or Walmart or Best Buy today, and there's an Xbox sitting behind a glass case for $350, probably with a game bundled.
Yep. And that's the thing is especially now that they're starting to get it to where most of the games, and I think this is where Microsoft is trying to go. If it's a PC game, it'll work on an Xbox. I think that's where they're aiming for, to where there's not that differentiation. It's just, is it a Windows, Xbox? They'll have the app or whatever on PC. I think they want to get it to where, all right, you're not sacrificing any games by going with a console, and most people don't care. Like when you're sitting back on your TV far enough away from the monitor, I don't think most people notice that it is, not quite as high of a clarity. Maybe
it's
not as good as a resolution,
but it's more casual.
Yeah, but it's a much more casual audience.
Yeah.
So I think you'll have your people that'll be like, oh, I have to use PC for competitive. But I think there's a level to where, if you have a kid and they're like, I want to play this game. Okay, well, how much is a computer? $1,500. How much is an Xbox? 300 something. Okay, you're getting an Xbox. I mean, that's just how it works.
Xbox One on Amazon. I misspoke. You can get the Xbox One S for $289.
Yeah.
You could literally buy 2 Xbox one S's for the
That'll
price.
be how much your memory costs on the piece.
You can buy 2 of those for the price of a new a new 1080. Yeah, the 1080's like $550 plus.
Yep.
So
that's why there'll always be tons of people still playing.
Bingo, and that's why I think games like Fortnite specifically that get people into the mindset, get people into the genre. If we can pull them over to the PC market and get more players on PC, more money invested by the big companies. Hey, Activision's putting a lot of money into the new COD on PC, which is something they've never done. Rockstar's still a little hesitant. They're not with the new Red Dead, but we can just push.
I don't know without GTA. I think they know the numbers. I mean, the thing is, Rockstar knows the numbers of how many people are buying the cash cards that are on a console versus the shark cards that are on console versus a PC. There's got to be so many more people playing them on console to where that's why it's that'll maybe eventually come. But the money is coming from the console.
I own 3 copies of GTA 5.
Yeah.
Xbox 360.
Right now, I think it's like $29.99 right now.
I can assure you I paid $60 for all of them. Xbox 360, Xbox One, and PC.
I've been tempted to get it for PS4, but
no,
I think after
not at this point.
I just don't think it's worth it now. If I'm going to be putting my time into an online, trying to build that up, might as well do it on Red Dead.
There you go.
So,
all right. We've got about 20 minutes left. Let's just do. We
do need to talk about PUBG a little bit.
Okay, let's talk about PUBG then.
So PUBG had their update 22, and this is one of their bigger updates. So this is kind of part of the whole fix PUBG thing.
Yep.
Which could not have come if it came any later. The game was really struggling. I think there's so much competition coming out right now, and people were getting frustrated with the cheaters and just the non-polish of it. You got Call of Duty getting ready to come out, which is almost in a clone but works well of PUBG. I think that their whole campaign that they did, hopefully it's enough to keep people playing it. They did on here a quality of life update where they put wheel menus in there. So they added UI that allows player to quickly access using a quick select menu, which, kind of what you run into a lot of times when you're using a controller. And I think that hopefully they learned from Fortnite that they need to go through and they really need to go through and polish it and have controllers and console in mind when they design the game.
Yep.
Not make a clone of a game that barely works well on a keyboard and mouse. I mean, Arma, people struggle enough using a keyboard and mouse on it. And, when they copied that type of mechanic, it's really hard to bring that over to a console.
I don't want to seem like I'm this big Fortnite fan, because I'm not, but they literally did it. I mean, they built the game. The whole game was based around mobile, console, and PC, and we've seen the effect of that. So,
yep. They got tons of people playing it, and anybody can play with their friends.
Yep.
Right. That's the issue that they're solving. So on here, they added it to where they have a quick select wheel. It's kind of similar to the UI that you have for the emote system, but on there you can have inventory items. So you want to have your grenades on there. You want to have certain items in your inventory to where you can quickly get them. I think that this is going to be a big solution to having it feel similar on a console versus the PC, and making the PC a little bit more smooth to where you're not having to open up your inventory, drag stuff around, and work through it quite so much. On the mini map, they made it so you can now magnify the mini map so you can zoom in closer. Player order consistency was something they fixed, that it says player order between the lobby and in-game is now consistent, because before you'd have a certain order, and then when you launch the game, people might be in a different order, different colors than before. It remembers that. You have a friend UI, so that's been improved to show logged out and disconnected teammates. And then they had a bunch of bug fixes. One thing that I've complained about since day one, I think, was character movement. They are working on that. They fixed an issue where players could sometimes climb stairs much faster while moving diagonally next to the wall. So people were figuring out little glitches to move around more quickly. The DBNO, which is dead but not out, right? Down but not out, sorry. player wall penetration. Fix an issue where sometimes a down player character model would penetrate walls. You could, I guess, crawl through a wall, probably. And that comes down to collision boxes, which is the only thing I can think of. They probably have it to where the collision box wasn't the same when you're down. Underwater, they fixed an issue where players could hold weapons while moving close to rocks while underwater. So you wouldn't swim. It probably kind of consider you like you were standing on the rock when you're underwater, when you're supposed to be swimming. Some sliding fixes. I don't know if you saw these where people slide in the lobby and things like that. People always taking bugs. I mean, they did it in H1Z1 as well. So they're fixing some of those issues. Fix an issue where characters would look like they were sliding while standing up if they took out a weapon and stood up at the same time. Fix an issue also where a player appeared to slide when standing up or moving while going prone before landing from a certain height. So they fixed some issues with stunning, with like the stuns, armed animations, player UI, aiming down sights, vehicle interactions, character position, character motion, vaulting, character motion, another character motion fix, report spamming, lobby HP bar display, popping, so that sort of animations popped upward when getting close to the wheel of a buggy, and then another vehicle popping issue. They added in one thing from those initial fixes, like that's the most that they've done in this game, it seems like, in a while, of actually fixing problems.
Well, I mean, this is they set a roadmap and they're sticking with it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it seemed like for a long time you were getting somewhat fixes, but there was a big break.
Yeah.
And so now they also have added in a rank system, leaderboard, and region renewal. So server region will now be decided automatically depending on the player's local region. So you can't choose your region. If you group with a player from another region, matchmaking will automatically decide the best region to play on, probably based on ping of both players. They implemented an 8 rank, so there's 8 total ranks. Ranks are assigned as you earn points, and then to earn your first rank, you need to play 10 provisional matches. Rank promotion/demotion will be decided by total rank points as indicated in the chart above. So they've got it to where, you just get the different. If you have 1 through 1400, pretty much you get bronze. 1400 through 1500 is silver. So it goes up. And it goes all the way up to what they call Grandmaster, which is over 2000. And so I think they're learning something from the console or the tablet version of this game. Those are kind of different tablet. Well, the tablet and the PC version are different studios, right? I think they're learning that people like to have a feeling of accomplishment. Oh, I'm this rank and I'm doing this well, like they're getting with the tablet version. So they're adding that into there. They're redoing the statistics page. They've added in like map selection screen that they tested a while ago, but they're getting it in there now to where it should stay in there. You can quick join or select maps individually. So you can do quick join. It'll just pick one of the maps at random. It puts you in the first available game. So regardless of what map it is, so whatever one is ready to go right away, it'll put you into that one. They have a skin trade up system. So you can trade in, 10 skins of a skin, and then it'll trade it up to another skin. And this is, I think that they're trying to figure out how to get rid of all these duplicate skins in people's inventories. I mean, that's what they did in H1Z1 as well. So they have a skin trade up system, and they have, they have some images of the mouse wheel. They did some performance fixes, a lot, just another number of general fixes. But this is one of their biggest updates. Update number 22 is probably one of their bigger updates that I've ever seen them do.
Well, it's pretty crazy.
So if you haven't played it for a while.
I mean, this game, when did they go 1.0? Do we remember about one? It's been a while, and they've only done 22.
I think it's been a year and a half.
They've only done...
Because they just came out when we were at PAX, right? At the first PAX,
they weren't 1.0 at PAX, were they?
But I think they were. I think at the end of that year they were out at 1.0, right? Okay.
So, okay. Yeah,
So
I
is it
think
only
you're right.
been 9 months? 10 months?
But nevertheless, it's been a long time, and they've only done 22 big updates. So if that's any indicate, like for example, Ark will do 22 updates in a week.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so that's interesting.
So this is one of their bigger ones, and they finally are making it easier to use. I think is one of the biggest things. I mean, because that's been a big complaint is you look at the polish and the ease of selecting things and moving and doing all these things inside of Fortnite, and then you turn around and you play PUBG, and it's just like, okay, I gotta go in my inventory, click and drag. I mean, it's very much that DayZ, H1Z1 Arma feel of here's your inventory, click and drag, and don't make anything easy. That seemed to be the lowest goal, is to make it as easy as possible to play. They treat it like difficulty is what determines, are you good? You can play a difficult game. That doesn't mean you should make it difficult to play. So I think they've done a good one. This was, number 22. And I think that people, if they haven't played it for a while, jump in there and you'll notice right away UI improvements. And I think they just have polished it up quite a bit.
Yeah, showing a quick little video here of a new item. This is the flare gun that is in the game, which is neat, and it actually spawns in an airdrop, which is kind of interesting. So they've got that as well.
Nice. So yeah, I think that this should have been like, here could be a good, almost like 1.0. We need to get out of alpha, we need to do this quickly. This should have been done before this kind of stuff should have been what determined it being 1.0, like the polish of this. Like, okay, we're going to fix our UI. We're going to make it to where the animations move correctly. Put in airdrops, whatever you thought like was your polished game. I just feel like they rushed so much to 1.0 to where there was no reason for it being 1.0. Like they didn't add anything special in 1.0. It just said, okay, we're going to be out, and they just set a date, and it didn't matter what the state of the game was at that point. They were just coming out of alpha.
There's some truth to that. I'm glad that they did just set a date and do it though, instead of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. It doesn't really need to be alpha. Just say we're going to continually improve our game.
Yeah,
and not rely on the alpha. Oh, it's alpha, so it's okay to be mediocre or poorly performing.
This is true.
All right. So I don't think if there's anything else we want to quickly cover. I want to mention that Paragon, so they released some more of the Paragon assets. So if you do Unreal development, they've done the final set. I think there's done 3 total, but they said it's $12 million worth of Paragon content, which I guess that tells you how much they paid all their developers and everything. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's worth $12 million. That's just how much they paid to have.
I don't like when people do stuff like that. It pisses me off.
So on there, they did. So pretty much it has now all the characters from Paragon. So you can go on there, and it's got all those different unique looking characters. You can go on there and use them in your games, and as long as you're using Unreal Engine to develop, you're free to use it. So
there you go.
Just wanted to mention that for people.
Let's just cover a couple things real quickly. Just a couple tweets here. There's not really any news. Miscreated is introducing something cool into their game, and that is farming. I don't really know how I feel about it, but they put this little picture out here on the Twitters, and said, "Hey, this is in the experimental, so yep, check it out. It's on their experimental build, and they have a link to their Discord as well, where people are talking about it and whatnot." So
I did see some people make some comments of, when are you going to do the base building? Because they're adding all this in, but just imagine if they spent, a couple months, 2 months, just really focusing on base building. It would make that game a whole new game. Because you can do all these other things, but the one complaint you're getting from your community is base building that I see over and over again. I don't understand what the struggle is.
There's got to be something.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that would be like, okay, well, we're going to do base building. I mean, maybe it's the engine. Can you think of other games using that engine that really have base building?
No, and I deflect more to you on that. I mean, I
just can't think. I can't think of any. It'd be something that instantly you could go to the market on Unreal and purchase a kit that has arc level base building instantly. And so there's got to be something about their engine that's holding them back.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was
I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting, but it seems like this is something that should be complementing a base building system. Like you have base building and you farming. Can put in a garden and farming. I think that, as PH says, all this stuff's irrelevant, with the base building system that they have. You need to be putting a base building system in and then give things for people to do around that. And I think that that's something they haven't done.
No, I agree completely with you on that. 7 Days has got some news as well. Well, not really news, but an image. So we've been waiting a long time for Alpha 17, which we were told was.
I've been scouring for any news,
and this is what we found: a bathtub.
So So they've made some new bathtubs, and so those are going to be, which they're not bad looking.
I mean, really.
But that's their big content update, and
ship it.
The one thing that there's a hint, and I don't know if this means anything. So if you look at your post for the Alpha 17 that he updates, he did put a little ghost image, like icon, in the thing. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like around Halloween.
Yeah, I mean,
I wonder if that's like a little hint. You put a little ghost symbol.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on here, Brian. Some interesting.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Some interesting things going on here.
So, yeah. So now so one thing is that's not like a block. They always make stuff.
Yeah, it looks like garbage.
Yeah. So that's actually rendered. But they're at the end of the year. They're coming out of. They're going to gold.
I love JD's comment. Oh boy, Tubbs, at long last, in 7 days to die. What a time to be alive. How about we get a freaking content release? Can we get you know what we're going to have, Brian? You know what I want for next week? Remind me to do this. Let's get it. We need a revolving clicker that revolves with the days, hours, minutes, seconds since the last 7 days. Where is it?
I'll have to get you a link for it because I have the timer. I have one of those for when we were timing down to do live streams.
Yeah. No, I know. I know we've got one. I'm saying we need that for 7 days. We're gonna have that for next week, and we're gonna every week.
Because I created a web-based version, so
perfect.
Because
I know exactly what you're talking about because I was looking through files and I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, that's what it is. That's what we need. And every week we're gonna do a 7 days watch
of how long it's been since
the last update.
Okay, I can set the date to that.
That I like it. Let's do that. We're gonna have. I mean, Christ, we're gonna have some fun.
I think if I set that date, it'll count up. So it should. We'll double check that it's correct.
We'll figure it out. Believe me. I think you and I can combine our minds here and come up with something to just show the absurdity of this with 7 days.
It is frustrating. So we'll definitely have that ready. I mean, it'll take me like 10 minutes.
All right. So we're at our 2 hour mark. We're gonna. October 26th of last year was the last update. There you go. We'll get our revolving clock for that. I'll skip current players. There's not really anything to talk about. And I guess we'll go for that. I'm just looking through the notes. Bunch of things we missed. DayZ. There's a cool video out from our friend Battle Nonsense. He did a netcode video on Call of Duty Blackout, which I'd recommend you watch. The netcode is garbage. Game plays pretty well, but the netcode is garbage. I don't know. Hopefully that's something they'll continue to address. The Darwin Project had an update. No Man's Sky. There was some update with Telltale. They're trying to find another company to pick up episodes 3 and 4 of the Walking Dead series. Realm Royale, Rend. We happy few. I mean, we literally didn't cover anything. So that's that.
Very good. All right, so we ready for tip of the week? Anything else we need to cover before we roll into it?
I don't think so.
All right, to the weeks where I go through, and either I'll give a general gaming tip or something specific. And since we're going to be playing some Ring of Elysium this Friday, we're going to do it on that. So this is tip of the week. All right, so Ring of Elysium has this feature that I think is probably one of my favorite features of the game, and that's the ability for you to choose your starting location. Because you go through, and one of the big issues that we have with a lot of these games is when you're doing the fly-in, landing with a parachute or some sort of other thing, it's very difficult to land and consistently land. You know, we especially ran this H1Z1 to where you'd be released and would actually be way behind somebody else. For some reason, they were able to queue in a parachute before you and get to the ground. And it's not because you aren't landing as efficiently as possible. With this, rather than doing any of that, you just pick your spot at the very beginning that you want to load out of, and it will start you on the ground in that zone. The whole map is put into blocks. And so you can actually see all the other people that are picking where exactly they're starting out. It will have a countdown of when the game's going to start. There is a lockout period. So you have like 10 or 15 seconds before the game starts. You can no longer change your selection. So as you see people kind of move around the map, and you'll see kind of the ebb and flow of maybe someone else picked a spot close near another person, they'll move. And then some of the places that you may want to keep an eye on, there's Sigil Castle is one of the excellent places to start at. It's got quick action, also a lot of loot to pick from. You'll see another area called the Dione Police Station. This is a spot that usually a lot of people pick, but also there's a lot of vehicles that are close at hand. So if you find that there's too many people in the area, you can jump into the one of the vehicles and drive to one of the other closer cities up north. And then Wagner City, this is probably one of the largest cities that they have on the map. It's got about a little over 24 buildings on there, and they all have a lot of really good loot. So they said, on here, just got to keep an eye out as you're going to these places, how many people are with you. Because if you're going to a place that, sure, it's got a couple dozen buildings in there, but also there's 10 other people, that's one of the beauties of this system. If you don't want to be in a hot spot like that, just pick another spot. One thing with this game, it is very spread out loot. I've never felt like I couldn't find a decent weapon within 3 buildings. So if you go through, they're not trying to make it difficult to find a good weapon. They're not trying to make it to where you get lucky and you can't find a good weapon. So if you pick a spot that has a decent number set of houses or buildings in it, you will find gear. So just kind of make your decision of how instantly do I want to have a gunfight. If you're looking for quick action, pick an area that's near other people. If you want to kind of take your time, get comfortable, get the gear loadout that you're wanting to have, and then start working towards other people. You should have a good idea based on that map, how maybe a town that you can then work into that has more people. So I think this is a unique way of doing it. I think that this is a much more consistent way of doing it. And so as we play on Friday, hopefully people can get their opinions on it. If you think this is a good idea, let us know. Because personally, looking at this, I found this to be much less aggravating than a lot of these other games that we played that are very similar.
That's good to hear.
Yep. So that is tip of the week.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Brian. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Trying to think. What I feel like.
So one thing I was going to mention: The Last of Us. They have tomorrow. They're calling it Outbreak Day.
Oh, okay.
So in the game, September 26th was day one, the day the fungus hit, and so they call it Outbreak Day. And so they're using this day to celebrate, and they're releasing content. So avatars, a theme.
Oh, neat.
Some other stuff that they're going to reveal tomorrow. Some songs, theme songs, wallpapers for your phone or your computer, So those are the things that initially they've said, but then they also have got, I think it's 4 other things that they're going to be releasing as well, but they won't announce it for another 14 hours. So that's The Last of Us Outbreak Day. Hopefully maybe they'll give a teaser for the next Last of Us. That would be kind of cool, but this is their 5th anniversary. So Last of Us came out 5 years ago.
There you go. I like this continuing support of the game and the community. I like that. It's good. That's good that's a lost start. That's good to hear.
Yep.
Good to see, rather.
So that's something to keep in mind. Check that out if you have a PS4. At least you could throw the theme on there until Red Dead puts out a good theme.
Yeah, until you buy your theme for $20 extra, Brian.
Yep. Yeah. I'll then thinking that over. I think I'm going to go with the middle one. We'll figure it out.
All right.
We Happy Few. Yeah, they had their update Black Wake, which we'll have to throw again on our list of games to play.
No more of these long died. We can no longer. We need like a 4-hour show.
Yeah. Oh, I have one thing we have to talk about. Sorry. And we don't have to go in depth in this, but Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I saw this on here.
IllFonic is no longer going to be developing or maintaining Friday the 13th. So they have handed that off to Black Tower, which is pretty much the people that were making the maps and doing most of the work, probably. So they're going to take over maintaining Friday the 13th, and IllFonic is going to go on to make bigger games. I guess games that need a full development studio.
Because Friday the 13th sure as hell didn't need one.
Yeah, I mean, they can't do anything, so they have this development studio that's sitting there unable to do anything. So they're going to be moving on and doing other games. And I put in here a link. They actually have now. They're hiring people at IllFonic. So if you want to go work for them and make some other game,
go work in Tacoma.
Yeah, it's not that far away from me. Yeah, so I figured I'd mention that for people that are big fans. You know, IllFonic's moving on, but Friday the 13th will stay the same forever.
Rest in peace.
Yep. I think that's all I really needed to say.
Well, good. I'm glad you got that out.
All right, so let's go ahead and ready for roll for this.
Yes, sir.
Giveaway.
Oh,
all right.
And I want to thank our friend Camper for coming in with some bits a little bit earlier on the show. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Congratulations to Saul Greatman.
Super rigged. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. A long-time follower of the show.
Saul, just make sure you send that donation to my personal PayPal. That'd be helpful. Thank you.
One of our favorite attorneys from Florida.
Whenever I need any type of advice for any legal matter, I consult him. But even if it's not his field,
giving away free advice.
Even if it's not his field of expertise, he always gives me an answer. It doesn't matter how wrong or right it is. I always get it. I always get a solid answer.
As long as you get an answer, you're content.
And I know that I'm in good hands.
I would ask him medical advice. I mean, what does he not know?
I agree. Anybody that's a lawyer, I know that. I mean everything. What are you gonna do?
And I think this is a game that he will enjoy. So
there you go. Well, thanks.
Let me know. Give a little feedback. One thing I like is feedback. If you play a game that I give away and you actually enjoy it, let me know, because usually I have one of these and then hey, maybe I should try it, because I usually have another one in my inventory.
Saul just accurately described the entire podcast. He says you don't need to know the right answers, just confidence in your answer, and that's what we do.
Exactly.
I say it's been 600 days. 600 days since 7 Days has released a patch. What? Okay.
I mean, 360, whatever. So
I mean, whatever. What are you gonna do? 600 days. Okay. Well, you can argue.
Eventually, it will be.
You can argue with me in the Twitch chat. I mean, I said it. It's in the podcast.
Hey, he's so good. He's coming to you from the future. It will be 600 days.
Yeah.
Hey. He's letting you guys know.
That's what all these donations have come. I'm traveling across the space-time continuum to bring you news and updates from the future. All right, we got to get out of here. We're
all right. Congratulations, Saul. I'll send you that link inside of Discord. And so if you want to find me at Boise Computer on Twitter, or you can check out my blog, biteoftech.com. Of course, you make sure to go to our website, click our Steam notifications if you want to get on there. Just follow us on our Steam group, and that will tell you right before the show starts Also, we have a link to our Discord if you want to post news to us. If you want to go in and just harass people, talk to people, get to know some of our community. It's a nice free app. And just join our server on Discord. Nice link. We have also our YouTube channel, our Twitch channel, and then our audio only forum. So if you want to join us live, make sure you join us on Twitch on Tuesdays now once again, at 7 Eastern. Or if you want to check us out after the fact, you can go to YouTube or listen to it, our audio only on your phone.
Yes, and as you said, live Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern right here. Twitch, we're on YouTube Live as well, and shows up on podcast and YouTube shortly after. Got a couple of people I want to thank. I want to thank our friend Judd and Grizzly Bear for both subscribing during the show, and then I want to thank War Chicken, Firebomb, and Camper for all for throwing us some bits during the program this evening. We appreciate it, and we gotta start planning, Brian. What's our next event gonna be? We just wrapped up PAX West. We got East coming up. We got GDC. We got E3. We got PAX West. I mean, we got a lot of options out there. So we'll come up with our plan to bring you the latest.
Brand new one called Infection Con.
There you go. Oh, Minecon. I was reminded that Minecon is this weekend. There's
September around a bunch of 12-year-olds.
September 29th. So get ready. Tune into our friend.
I always like listening to those panels.
So what we're going to be doing real quick. This is more post show, but we'll bring it up in the podcast. Our friend PHVCK. You can follow him on Twitch at PHVCK. We're going to be doing live reactions to Minecon. We're going to be doing some commentary. So if anybody would like to join us, join Discord, and we'll be streaming that on Twitch. We'll have live reactions to all of the wonders of Minecon. By the way, owned by Microsoft. So that'll be interesting. Alrighty, my friend. Thank you very much for being so flexible over the past couple weeks. Appreciate it as always, and doing all the show notes and whatnot.
Very good.
Alrighty, folks. Well, thanks for joining us. I know things have been a little crazy. Everything should level out here over the next couple of weeks. We will be good to go. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicholas M. Craig. You check out our website, infectionpodcast.com. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Infection. We'll see you next time, folks. Thanks so much for joining us.